Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, folks from across the world who are watching us online and here, first and foremost, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to see you all go through this very first EOS Global Series Hackathon here in Hong Kong. We had 353 of you come through and sign up yesterday. We had 69 teams, and it was a joy to watch you guys go through and determine who the overall finalists are. And with that, we do have finalists that we need to announce. But before we do that, we have spectators and others joining us, so it might be worth walking briefly through what it is we're going to be doing today. For those of you just joining us yesterday, we released this challenge. It was the first time that the participants had seen this, and this was one of the ways that we used to help keep everything fair as the coding began. The teams and the attendees only had 26 hours to build what you're about to see on this stage. The challenge was the EOSIO platform will bring in a future of decentralized applications built to impact technology across the globe. Create a DApp on the EOSIO platform with the potential for massive user adoption. From all of those teams, we have picked just 10 finalists who will be going after the following prizes. Later today, we'll be announcing the superlative prizes: the most valuable mentor, the best social media post, the best UX design, and the greatest social impact. But for this round of judging, we will be focusing on those big top 3 prizes. For the second runner-up, for third place, they'll be awarded $10,000 and a trip to the EOS Grand Finale later this year. For second place, they will be awarded $25,000 and a trip to the Grand Finale later this year. But for first place at this hackathon, the team will walk away with $100,000 and that trip to the finale at the end of the year. So who will be helping us judge this? It's time to meet those judges. You met some of them during the first round of pitches, but it's nice to officially be introduced to them. So without further ado, Larry Sanger, ladies and gentlemen, the co-founder of Wikipedia and the CIO of Everpedia. Give it up for Larry. Eric Kuhn, head of communications, home and entertainment, T-Mobile. Give it up for Eric. Theodore Forsilius, CEO and co-founder of Everpedia. Give it up for Theodore. Dr. Jane Thomason, CEO of Blockchain Quantum Impact. Give it up for Dr. J. Andrew Buss, the CFO of Block.one. Give it up for Andrew. Winnie Liu, founder of EOS Global. Give it up for Winnie. Sam Kazemian, co-founder and president of Everpedia. Give it up for Sam. He's been with us all weekend. And finally, last but certainly not least, Michael Cow, founder of EOS Global. Give it up for Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, these judges went through a gauntlet of a first round, each of them seeing 17 to 18 projects over an hour and a half. And from that, we have picked the top 10 teams. What are these teams being judged on? 4 different judging criteria: the utilization of blockchain technology, creativity, impact, and scalability. Each of these criteria are worth 5 points, making a total of 20 points possible for each winning team. How we're going to go about this today is as follows. If I call your team's name, you will head over to the right-hand side of the stage, and we will start to bring you on. Whoever is driving your demo will hang out over at the podium area. Whoever is pitching will join me on stage here. You will have 3 minutes to pitch to the judges and to our audience. The judges will have 2 minutes to ask you questions. And then from there, you will move off, and the next team will come on. And with that, it is time to announce our first 4 finalists. The first of our finalists, and if you can join me over here to the right and meet Katie and Maddie and Ian over on the side to help set you up. A warm round of applause, our first finalists. Dao Group, come on down. Block Flare, come on down. So folks, once I call your name, start to head over to the right-hand side. Deep, come on down. And last of the first four that I will announce before we go into the rest later, a warm round of applause. Armada, come on down. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get started. Dao Group, are you here? Dao Group, are you here? It's always a rough moment when the actual finalist isn't here. Block Flare, are you here? Block Flare, raise your hands. Block Flare, head on up to the front of the line, please. Deep. DAO Group. Dao Group, there you guys are. All right, Dao Group, you guys are going to go ahead and come on up. Whoever is driving your demo, please join us on this area here, please. Judges, we will get started with Deep. Deep will be the first team up for our demos. If you want to head there and head on up to the stage. There you are, sir. All right. You know the rules. There will be 3 minutes to pitch. Judges, you'll have 2 minutes of questions. Before we get started, Deep, are you ready?
Yes.
Judges, are you ready? More importantly, audience, are you ready? All right, let's see some finalists. Deep, 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Hey everyone, thanks so much. I want to share something that's really important to me. When I think about my friends and family, and parents, children, grandparents, I think about how vulnerable they are on social media. They don't really realize that, especially for younger people, teenagers, their entire digital history is available for the world to see. And especially for people who don't understand how to use the internet entirely, it's really important that we provide them the security and the privacy and the rights that they deserve. I mean, all of you are here because you believe in the future of blockchain, decentralized technology, and all the promise that it brings for us and to empower us. But unfortunately, there's big companies that have all of the power in the data that they have. So we were tasked with the challenge of how can we help accelerate that transition towards decentralized applications. And at the same time, the challenge of how can we make it really easy to use. So I want to show you what we were able to come up with. Is a great team put together an amazing application. What we decided to do is build our DApp directly inside the browser, so it helps you everywhere you go. Go ahead, Francesco. So Francesco's just a regular guy. Where's his screen? He's browsing Twitter, just like he normally would. And he's scrolling down through Twitter, and he's going to see that, that there's a link that he doesn't have access to. This is encrypted content. And this encrypted content is telling him to install a Chrome extension. That Chrome extension is pretty easy to install, just a couple clicks. And with it, when he logs in, with just a password, that creates a wallet. So we created a smart contract where that wallet directly saves his identity on the blockchain. It also saves who he's following securely, that only he can see it. And what happens is, now that he has that installed, this content inside Twitter now is content that was end-to-end encrypted from someone else who shared. Now it's going to be available in his screen. Is it coming through? Boom, there it is. So now we have content that Twitter cannot see this content. Other people on the internet cannot see this content. This is content that I shared directly with him using my browser extension. So now Francesco, as a brand new user, he can easily do the same thing with all of his followers. He can upload an image inside the Chrome extension instead of on Twitter. And the extension gives him the keys he needs to share this on Twitter and encourages everyone else to do the same. So this works on all social media applications, and it encrypts your data end-to-end, whether you're sharing text or images or video. This is really important that we accelerate this transition. And before all these DAPPs are ready, before we have the chance.
And time. Give it up.
Thank you.
Wait before you go. Deep before you go. Questions from judges. Deep before you go. Questions from judges. Judges, any questions?
Yeah, so you still have to pay to put all that content on the blockchain. So it's much more ideal for something like EOS rather than Ethereum, but you can use any technology that's on blockchain, right? EOS, Plasma, other things like that, right? Okay. So yes or no?
Is that a question?
Yeah, so you still have to pay for everything.
Yes,
each user has to pay for everything.
Especially the encryption. If you're sharing a large video with a lot of people, end-to-end encryption requires you to, traditional end-to-end encryption requires you to upload a separate copy for every single person. But with proxy re-encryption, we built that into our smart contract also. I'll show you in the code review. There's a token economics that's required to pay for proxy people who do that work. And then, yeah, so there's some tokenomics that have to be worked out, but the smart contract is there to allow for all that to work.
Any other questions?
No?
All right, give one more round of applause for Deep. Thank you guys so much. Come down this way on the left-hand side. Thank you guys. All right, next up, Dao Group, come on up. Here you are, sir. Give us just one moment for the judges to input their scores. Judges, are we ready? Yes? All right. Dao Group, are you ready? 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you all for being here. So I'm going to speak about our project, which we did over the last night here. So basically, the problem we've tried to tackle in this hackathon is the problem of human organizations. And inherently, like all human organizations, they're kind of vulnerable. And the problem is because they're composed out of people, and people are corruptible. So since since progress relies on human organization, human civilization is based around that, we've tried to create a decentralized autonomous organizations based on EOS. And why DAOs? Well, because DAOs are a type of organizations which are incorruptible. It's just some lines of code which you run, and anyone can verify that the rules which were set when you join the organizations are going to be the same when you go over it over and over again. And organizations, they can even evolve over time. So our goal when we developed our project was to design our contracts in such a way that they can be changed at a later stage while the underlying company evolves. And when we go further,
we need
the vision is to create organizations within organizations. And when you build on top of that idea of incorruptible organizations which are provably secure and probably working as they are written, you can build amazing stuff out of it. And you can even build governments, you can create countries, and I think that you can just build amazing stuff. So about our product, what we've developed, we just have a simple UI where you can create your own DAO with a single click, and you can put up votes, you can you can distribute funds within your organization, and you can do what I just said. So as far as our project goes, we are still at a very, very early stage of our application, and it's not fully functional. It's around 10% functional of what the main vision is. But we plan to strive and to go forward and build this project.
And time. Give it up for Dao Group.
Thank you.
Judges, 2 minutes back on the clock for you guys. Any questions from the judges?
So if I can clarify, you're building a platform that will allow people to simply and easily set up their own DAOs.
Exactly. Everyone can set up his own organization with just a single click. That's the vision.
So it's like a WordPress for DAOs, essentially.
It's like a WordPress for DAOs and also for governments.
Awesome.
Judges, any other questions?
Do you have any smart contract code already created, or
Excuse me?
do you have any code already created for this?
Yeah, that's what we did the last 24 hours. We've tried to create as much code as we can, but honestly, we didn't get very far as our code goes. But technically and potentially, we're going to build on it in the future. And it's possible. Technically, it's possible. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you.
All right, give it up one more time for Dao Group.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dao Group. If you guys want to head off on this side of the stage, please. Or not. Block Flare, thank you so much. Block Flare, you guys are going to go ahead and come on up. And Armada, you guys will be on deck. All right, Block Flare,
Yes.
before you get started, judges, give me a nod if you're ready. Perfect. Block Flare, are you ready?
All good.
3 minutes back on the clock. Go.
All right, so you're an internet business owner, and the one thing that you would obviously hate is people DDoSing your website. What I mean by that is hackers consistently attacking your website, trying to deny your service, so now people cannot go on and enjoy their favorite content media that you provide. Now, hackers do this by going on, taking and infecting hundreds of millions of personal devices and laptops, and use their aggregated network power together to go on and do their best to shut down your websites. Now, that sounds all really bad, but there's a good side to this. There are a bunch of centralized solutions out there, such as Cloudflare, such as Akamai Networks, and what they do is they do their best to mitigate DDoS attacks for your sake, for your business. But there's a little catch here. The opportunity cost, or exactly how much dollars in damage these sort of DDoS attacks actually provide, easily goes up to billions of dollars. AKA, the moment your online business gets hit by a DDoS attack, you're potentially losing millions to billions of dollars. And these guys, Cloudflare and Akamai Networks, in return to mitigate your DDoS attack, they also got to spend millions of dollars on their own servers. So what we want to do is find a little happy medium to that. And what we decided to do was make a decentralized, anti-DDoS, economically incentivized platform that's built on EOS. So how exactly does it work? Well, what we do, in comparison to Cloudflare, is we crowdsource together all the sort of commodity devices that all you guys have, and we'll pay you for your bandwidth for the sake of being able to mitigate all of these DDoS attacks. So simply, you register as a relayer over on EOS, and the very moment that happens, the typical DDoS attack happens by directly attacking a central server. So people typically are not going to be routing to a central server anymore. But with Blockflare, our platform, you're going to be routing all of your API requests, any kind of sort of website servers that you have, all through EOS through a single smart contract. So let's go on and show a little demo. So this is a little sample login. And you can see you've got a username, you've got a password. We'll go on and enter it. And you know, in a typical sort of login page, whenever you press that login button, it's going to be sending a request to a login credential server to verify that, all right, your username and password is correct, right? But the thing is, because you know that route, the hackers or potentially malicious people can use that, take advantage of that, and spam your centralized server of hundreds of millions of different nodes. What we do instead is we use EOS, the fact that they have a large amount of internet bandwidth, the fact that the supernodes in EOS collaborate with one another to perform consensus mechanisms. We'll take advantage of it as a DDoS firewall. And with that, now not only are we're not going to be routing any of your API requests, any of your account registrations, any important information through your centralized server anymore, but instead through EOS.
And time. Give it up. Is 2 minutes on the clock for you for any questions that you've got.
Yeah, so is it the block producers that are doing the routing or the individual devices that sign up on the EOS smart contract?
Right, it's going to be the individual devices alongside the block producers actually, because it's a two-way defense. First is actually getting through the EOS firewall, I would say. And the second step is actually getting through the crowdsourced internet bandwidth.
Okay, so the crowdsourced internet bandwidth where people sign up their devices, that can in theory be done on a centralized website though. People can just sign up their IP addresses and other things, right?
Right. So what we actually do is we follow a good example of Tor, and what we do is we intentionally obfuscate the path that's taken between all of the sort of relayers, the ones contributing to bandwidth, so that you won't really actually know what sort of API server you hit to provide a response.
Awesome.
Judges, any other questions?
Can you elaborate a little bit more about the proof of work function?
Right, so upon every single request, every single route that's gone through EOS to mitigate DDoS attacks, before you can even make that request, you must complete a proof of work. Now think of it like this. If you got millions of network requests going through, obviously your server is going to be crashing. But if you have to generate a proof of work, which takes some amount of time, 100 milliseconds, you're going to be going from 1 billion network requests being spammed to your servers per second by malicious attackers, all the way forcibly down to 1,000, because proof of work, as we can see from Bitcoin and Ethereum, intentionally lets us bind the concept or notion or the physics of time into software.
So hackers can be extremely creative, as you know, and how would you try to hack the system that you've described?
10-second warning.
The way I would try to hack the system is try to take over the entire EOS network. Not my intention.
And on that note, time. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. If you guys want to walk off stage this way, please. Thank you so much. And as Armada is getting set up for the next round of demos, I want to announce the next 3 finalists who are going to be coming on stage. The next 3 finalists will be meeting the Angel Hack team right over here on the stage right side where Maddie is raising her hands are Smart City Steroids, come on down. ID Pass, come on down. And Do Couture, come on down. You guys start to head up and line up over there as we go through the next ones. We will announce one more set of finalists. Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, however, just because you're not one of the finalists does not mean that you haven't won one of our other superlative prizes. So keep that in mind. Armada, are we ready? All right, Armada, I know you're ready. Judges, are we ready? All right, 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Hey, I started a drop shipping company before, and a big problem that us drop shippers find is a multitude of problems that deal with logistics and controlling our own supply chain. So let's look at the market, for example. So within the drop shipping and e-commerce market in general, we have seen $300 billion in the retail market. A subset of this, a 45% increase in just e-commerce and online shopping. This leads to, on drop shipping and e-commerce platforms like Shopify, over 500,000 stores created in the last year. So what are these major problems that we see in drop shipping? Well, the first thing is, we're dealing with international logistics, inventory that is overseas, and this leads to a problem with a multitude of parties that I do not know and do not regularly interact with. There is a lack of trust in this environment, and not only do I not know where my products are, but neither do my customers. This loses consumer confidence, items being returned, and I can't even facilitate these items being returned myself because these are third-party logistics. So The biggest problem, so what we created is using the EOS blockchain. We have able to improve transparency on the blockchain between these parties, facilitate multi-party transactions for supply chains, and ultimately restore confidence in the consumer as they can view the full logistical supply chain, the same as myself as a dropshipper. This improves transparency in this original black box that we faced. This improves wholesaler, retailer, as well as dropshipper interaction to supply the information needed to power this system. So our solution, Armada, is built upon a track and trace solution, which serves as a middleware which integrates IoT, mobile platforms, but also a drop shipping platform for consumers, which allows us to apply vertical integration to our systems and supply chain. So let's walk through the actual drop shipping process. So right here is our platform itself. You can connect your existing e-commerce store to any of our integrations, directly with Shopify we see right here. And let's move on to actually selecting, different products you can drop ship. These different products provide information like shipping times, prices, dealer ratings, which aren't previously available on Shopify and e-commerce platforms right now, but due to the information that's provided through our blockchain network, is now available for customers. So right here we have an IoT device which kind of serves as the oracle within a factory. We can see in real time what our inventory is, and as it's shipped to different, through our supply chain, each party connects to our system, serves as an oracle, and I am able to fully track our supply chain, not only myself, but also my customers. This transparency inspires ultimate confidence, more wholesalers are willing to work with me, and a better drop shipping platform in general. In the end, what we're trying to do moving past this is incorporate financial transactions, full integration with all e-commerce and retail platforms, and ultimately building an ecosystem for people to build apps on our supply chain.
And time.
Thank you.
Give it up for Armada. Judges, 2 minutes back to you. Any questions?
Can you just define dropship one more time for me?
Yeah, so what drop shipping is let's say I'm a retailer. I actually don't control any of my inventory. My inventory is actually a wholesaler, which I facilitate the transactions from them to my retailer, and I use a third-party logistics to ship that over. So it's originally a black box, but now I have vertical integration in my shipping platform.
Judges, any other questions? All right, give it up one more time
Awesome,
for
thank you.
Armada. Next up, Smart City Steroids, starting to come on stage. Thank you. Give us just one moment for the judges to input their scores. All right, judges, are we ready? Pitcher, are we ready?
Yes.
3 minutes on the clock, go.
Hello, my name is Gautam. I come from India, so it's a democratic country. And I was just seeing the news a few days ago. My country has a smart city initiative. 100 cities, they want to make a productive city. And only 5% in the last 5 years operationally funded. Operationally delivered, which means funding there, people there, manpower there, not delivered. How can we solve this problem? So the problem we see here is that there is no transparency in terms of delivery of the public projects, and also no accountability by the government or the private bodies. So we think this is a big problem. So we want to solve this. And to solve this problem, what we did was we created a decentralized public tendering system, which focused on transparency in terms of trail of money, and the accountability, and also the public delivery by the vendors and all. So to define this, there are 4 pillars to this project. So we call them citizens, projects, vendors, and government. Yes, government is also there. Still it's a decentralized, but still is there. So the way we do this is we have the private vendors, they pitch in their projects, and they put it on the platform. Now the citizen buys the tokens and uses a personal token and go on the project and think, I should want to pay for it, I will vote for it. So for example, you can see a lot of city-relevant projects, wind turbine and all those kind of stuff. So one company come up with an idea saying that, hey, I want to build wind turbines, I want to provide solar energy and all this kind of stuff, clean water and stuff. So they can propose this. This is a kind of systematic proposal in which the main goal is to collect some kind of specific fund, which people will actively participate, crowdfund, as well as verify the delivery. And so you can just click on the vote button. So this will start the real blockchain on the back end, and it will actually transfer and fund this project. Next thing, it goes to the government. The government simply verifies the project. They just get a dashboard and get brownie points in their next democratic elections. They don't get any tokens out, so no corruption here. And then what happens is, when the project is delivered, then basically the vendor can claim the money from the project itself. So basically the money, the token always stays with the contract of the project, not the vendor. Only by community voting the project, then you get back the money to the vendor. So vendor also happy, can do more efficiently work. People pay for their own projects, ownership. And we see this one is quite a scalable project because 50 million people presently in these 100 smart cities. They are waiting for this kind of platform to build. So we are quite eager to build this, and with the right tool we can. We are smart city steroids. Thank you very much.
Well done. Judges, 2 minutes back on the clock for you for any questions for Smart City Steroids.
You make it seem like the government only has to get involved at the end. Doesn't the government need buy-in in the beginning also?
That's a little bit controversial. We do not want to say that at the moment. Of course, we have an example. We want to approach the government and be supportive and all those kind of things. But we don't want to involve actually the government directly in buying the tokens. That could create some kind of a biasness, which we don't want. We want them to be on the platform to operationally approve some things. For example, I want to build a public toilet in my city. I need to go to the government to get the approval to use the land and all the other stuff. So that's the only reason they are there. So they are public servants in a democracy, so which is fair enough. So they just get the visibility of the project. So that's pretty much it.
Judges, any other questions? Give it up for Smart City Steroids. Well done, folks. And coming up next, Team ID Pass. Team ID Pass. We'll give the judges just a moment to input their scores. All right. Judges, are you ready?
Hi, everyone.
Oh,
we're
one moment, sir. Yes, all right, and 3 minutes on the clock. Go.
Hi again, everyone. We're ID Pass, and what we've created is a solution to help 1 billion plus undocumented people around the world gain access to essential legal, governmental, healthcare, and financial services. With our solution, this undocumented person can build out a trusted ID that is private, fully under their control, and recoverable. We do this by combining the decentralized identification specification of the W3C with EOS account management and recovery services. So as an example, let's go to Jeremy, who's just been in a devastating earthquake in Nepal and needs access to medical attention. So his neighbor is going to take him to the Red Cross tent in the village to see Dr. Rahman. Now, as a first step, before Dr. Rahman arrived in the village, he knew he might not have internet access. So he goes to the ID Pass Red Cross page, and he's going to pre-stock his profile with a number of decentralized IDs that are immutable and tied to the EOS blockchain. After he's done this, he can go to the village and he can meet with Jeremy, and he's going to ask him his full name, his short name, gender, and date of birth. After he completes this, you're going to see in the next step that Dr. Rahman is going to scan Jeremy's eye. And the reason for this is we don't want to force Jeremy to have to remember the private key that proves his decentralized ID ownership on the EOS blockchain. After scanning the eye, Dr. Rahman is able to verify all the information he's collected and sign it with the Red Cross decentralized ID that also lives in the EOS blockchain. Now, as a final step, Dr. Aman can choose to print an ID pass that's either disposable, so something that's going to be cheap and easily accessible, or a hardware-based ID pass. So you can think of this as a smart card that has a secure chip that will store his private key that proves his decentralized ID ownership and can only be unlocked by that eye scan. Now, after this step, Jeremy can take this disposable ID pass to the banker in town, and what's special about this, he has that verifiable claim on that card that he controls. He could choose which claim he wants to show to the banker. In this case, he's choosing to show the Red Cross claim that he's already collected. And now the banker doesn't need to trust that Jeremy had this information. He could trust the signed version of the ID looking at the EOS DID on the blockchain. So in conclusion, we've created a solution for 1 billion+ people to gain access to essential services. We plan to make this an open source project. And
time. Give it up. Judges, 2 minutes back to you for any questions you have.
Does this require a smartphone to operate?
no, so with this solution, the ID pass can be printed on this disposable card format, or it could be printed, stored on a smart card.
Yeah, because people in remote villages don't always have a mobile phone. Sometimes they have mobile phone, but it's shared across multiple people. So we need something that is cheap that can be given to them.
And what's the cost of the iris scanning hardware?
This iris scanning is around $200.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How is it easy to commit fraud with the to fool the iris scanner? How reliable is the hardware?
So it's actually more reliable than fingerprint, for instance.
So you guys have heard of UPort, right? The UPort identity system. What does this have over that? Which is like the Ethereum system that people add attributes to, like Red Cross verification, all this stuff.
Yeah, so on Ethereum, like you have like UPort to do self-sovereign identity. The thing is, all the use cases is built like for people to have a mobile phone. So all the users have a mobile phone. We're focusing on people that don't have a mobile phone. So in remote villages that are no technology, delivering them an identity. The 1 billion people that have no identity today.
Cool. Very cool.
Seems like a really great idea. But I'm just wondering why one of the very, very many blockchain ID projects that are under development now, there must be dozens, wouldn't basically fold this feature into their larger feature set.
10-second warning.
So our focus is more like the registration part and giving something to people who have no identification, because everybody's focusing on people who have a mobile phone, for example. So we're really focusing on the rest of the people, and nobody has really the experience to do this.
And time. Give it up for ID Pass. Well done, guys. And right before Do Couture, yeah? Before you guys come up, I'm going to announce the last of the 3 finalists for the EOS Hackathon Hong Kong. The final 3 finalists are Extra P's, EOS Cybex. Come on down to the right-hand side. Collective Health, come on down. And last but certainly not least, and I'll be honest, my favorite name of all the finalists so far, This Coin Rocks, come on down. All right, with that, Do Couture, come on up.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll give the judges just a moment to make sure that they put their scores in. Judges, are we ready? Do Couture, are we ready?
Yeah.
On the clock, 3 minutes, go.
So everybody knows about decentralized exchanges, but why aren't they so popular? All the decentralized exchanges together don't even make up for 1% of the volume of Binance. It's because they have a lot of problems. the commissions are super high, they're super slow, they don't have a lot of volume, they don't support high frequent trading and stuff like that. And today we're super proud to announce that we found a solution to those problems, at the same time shining the light onto EOS and showing how superior it is in terms of other blockchains. And our solution here is a cross-chain within Ether and EOS, which is basically payment channels that allow us to go off-chain for trading and make it make the trading fees basically zero for our DEX, at the same time providing 1 million transactions per second and an amazing outreach for DEXs that they have never seen before for Ether and EOS at the same time. And if we compare our solution to the ones that are on the market right now, you're going to see that if we compare it to BitShares, Ether Delta, and stuff like that, we're way faster than them. And in terms of commissions, we're lower. So basically, we're connecting the best from centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges into one. And right now, our team member is going to show you the exchange that we built during the hackathon, basically. Yeah. Okay. A little technical. So basically, he's going to show the exchange where you deposit a little bit of EOS through Scatter. Through Scatter, you would be able to sell that EOS into Ether, then do some bidding. So we're kind of in the alpha version of it right now, and basically, we feel that this is the future for DEXs. We feel that this is the kind of revolution, getting like the revival for the decentralized exchanges, the possibility of them becoming popular again. And decentralized exchanges are the pillar of decentralization, basically. And I think that if we push this forward, it's going to make a huge impact into decentralization and cryptocurrency trading itself. Thank you so much.
Well done, Do Couture. Judges, 2 minutes on the clock for you.
So have you guys heard of Plasma Cash, which allows exchanges to not actually have full custody of the assets that they hold? What features do you guys have that's actually better than Plasma Cash?
Cross-chain, basically. So the thing here is that we're turning the usual decentralized exchanges around. While they usually have decentralized order books that push into having huge fees, we have it the other way around, where we have centralized order books and decentralized balances and deposits. And this turns the thing around, and in those centralized order books, the solution is off-chain, thus getting the zero fees for trading. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you can use Plasma Cash for Ethereum tokens and stuff, and you can have the same layer 2 solution.
Yeah. I didn't tell a lot about scalability, but the scalability is very simple, bringing on other blockchains the same way, like BTC for growing volume and growing interest into the platform and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
Thank you.
What identity information will there be for the users of this?
Right now, we're thinking about no identity information. I don't know how legally compliant that is, but in terms of a DEX, how it should be, decentralized exchange, we're thinking right now about no identity verification, and everything that's being on the exchange itself is through things like Scatter and stuff like that. Basically, a MetaMask. So these kinds of wallets that allow you to be fully anonymous, I guess. 15-second warning. Any other questions, judges?
Are you guys going to generate fees for?
I think the business model there is a very small fee only for withdrawal. That's the only thing. Yeah, that was the little pinnacle of the.
And time. Give it up for Do Couture.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done, guys. All right, next up, Team Extra P's, EOS, Cybex. Guys, give us 1 moment. Make sure the judges have input their scores, and then we'll get started. Judges, are we ready? Perfect. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
3 minutes on the clock. Go.
This is centralized disaster, right? If we are decentralized Avengers, we need more powerful weapons. I'm Chester from Cybex, and we built a prepaid DAP here and try to work with embedded system to make it more efficient and easy to use and have the same behavior, which are all important for scale. And we noticed that we still use dollars to pay for this hackathon, right? And the staff checked the hackers' IDs yesterday, which made me feel not so good. And so we decided here to sell the ticket on our DAP as the first application of our contract. Okay, let's see the demo. Okay, please show the screen of the phone. Screen of the phone. Okay. There are too many Bluetooth devices here, so we cannot connect through to the card. Okay, here is the EOS balance, and you could click action. Here is the conference list, and you click to buy. And when the Bluetooth connected, you can get the payment info, and you touch the fingerprint sensor to confirm. Here is the badge of here is the QR code of the badge. The staff can check you in just like you boarding a flight, please. All right. Okay, checked. It's pretty fast, right? This is core work from the EOS, the DAP, and the device. Why we use the device called BladeX, not just the DAP? Because it can be the badge without anything. Simple makes efficient. And it's a secure wallet. It's important. And it has a fingerprint system. You can prove you are the biological buyer of the ticket without showing the ID. Because we convert the fingerprint matching result to the signature in the QR code. It's totally anonymous. And we found the scanner and the sensor and the card should be part of the ecosystem, because if we look into many solutions, we will find that if we remove all the centralized element away, there will be only the device and the blockchain left. So we really want to work with the community and anyone who loves EOS to bring more devices in and to enhance the connection between EOS and the reality. Let's be centralized but stay connected. That's all from Extropy. Thank you.
And time on the dot. Well done, Cybex. Judges, 2 minutes to you.
So this is kind of like a consumer-oriented hardware wallet. It has biometric data, and you guys see potentially selling better than a Trezor or something like that?
The fingerprint system make it easy to key in your password. It's replacement of password. And if we have the biometric template bound with some key pairs, that could be a system to make the identification result anonymous.
Also, like potentially more mass market use of hardware wallets, basically.
Yes, of course.
What about age verification, like buying alcohol on the internet?
Oh, sorry?
Buying alcohol on the internet, age verification to make sure that the customer is over a certain age for certain products online.
Whoa. Oh, that's a good question. We don't bring the age in our system, but if there is some improvement of fingerprint technology, I think people under 14 could be recognized. But 14 to 18, that maybe has a little problem.
Thank you.
Judges, any other questions? All right, give it up for Cybex. Collective Health, you are coming up right now. Pass off the mic, thank you. Collective Health, let's give it a moment for the judges to input their scores.
Take your time.
Judges, are we ready? All right, 3 minutes on the clock, sir. Go.
So let's say I'm the head of the Hong Kong Cancer Institute, and I want a large medical database that I can use to come up with the optimum chemotherapy regimen for my patients. I have two options. I can spend time that I don't have filling out applications to medical review boards all over the country, or I can spend millions of dollars that I don't have on a data broker. And the reason that these limitations exist is because medical institutions are not willing to sacrifice security and privacy for interoperability. And centralized data brokers are not willing to sacrifice revenues in order to provide cheaper and alternative use cases. So, what do? We can, now let's say that we made it possible that we did not have to make these sacrifices. What if we could harness the disintermediating potential of blockchain technology to make it so that medical researchers can pay patients directly for their medical data? What if we can create interoperability as well as a private and anonymized medical database while allowing patients to decide which medical providers can store their data rather than just limiting operability to one medical institution? We know patients go to different medical institutions all the time. So, what this may look like is a group of medical providers coming together in a platform to vote for my research study, if they wish to, on the EOS blockchain. These medical providers are provided with rewards in the form of cryptocurrency for storing data on the platform. And they can use this cryptocurrency as a voting power on the EOS blockchain to allow my study onto the platform. So let's say we had a patient profile in which patients can use this platform to operate with their data in any level of security and decentralization that they wish. Patients can choose themselves to decide whether or not they would like their data opted into a study. They can also delegate that decision to a trusted medical provider or a list of medical providers. We can harness the institutional review boards that already exist within medical institutions to make those decisions, and again, incentivize the medical providers by giving them a portion of the reward that goes with that data. And with the click of a button, we can query their data, notify them of the fact that they are able to enter this study, and boom, they are in the data set. And what if, finally, I am given a data set that works perfectly to my needs? I am given a data set that can show me the perfect chemotherapy regimen necessary to treat my parents with the utmost.
Time. Give it up for Collective Health. All right, judges, 2 minutes on the clock for any questions before you walk away with the mic.
Sorry.
Would you mind just explaining the due diligence or the approval process to get the research studies up onto the platform?
Excellent question, excellent question. So what we would include and what we did include for the proof of concept is a voting protocol where all of the medical providers who are part of the platform can vote on whether or not researchers can enter the database. So medical providers have a stake in the organization and a stake in the platform by holding coins, and their coin holdage is proportional to their voting power, meaning that they would want to protect the integrity of the database by only allowing good data seekers to enter in. Any other questions?
Wouldn't it make sense to develop this on top of one of the many blockchain projects that are tracking patient data? It's a common blockchain sort of thing, and that would be...
Right, right. And there is a bit of a dichotomy that I've seen with current projects, is that many of them are trying to replace the electronic health record system, where we're trying to create more of a data exchange. One of the big differences is that there's no personally identifiable information inside of our database. So it doesn't act as an electronic health record system, but rather a system where you can control your data without the risk of your identity being released to others.
How is the data structured? And how, is there going to be a template that you're going to develop?
Right. So the way that it would best work would be, now there is very little interoperability that exists with electronic health record systems. So it would be more of a top-down approach when we come to a go-to-market strategy. We would have to look into the electronic health record system that clinics are using individually. Many use very common ones like Epic and Cerner, and we can integrate specifically with those systems.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
And time. Give it up for Collective Health. There you are, sir. Well done. All right, and last, and certainly not least, this coin rocks. Here you are, sir.
Thank you.
All right, before we get started, let's give the judges just a moment to input their scores. All right, judges, are we ready? All right, pitcher, are we ready?
Yes.
3 minutes on the clock, go.
Hello, everybody. And before I do my pitch, I'd like to just congratulate everyone with the event, with a historical event of monumental proportions, the launch of EOS mainnet, and we're all here to celebrate this. I personally came over here with my team just to celebrate the launch of EOS, the next generation blockchain that's going to help everyone to build next generation apps like we do. And what we do now is we are trying to build something that never was possible before. And we had some experience working with other technologies. And first time we finally have a chance to build something that has a real-time response from blockchain. With technology like EOS, we can basically get things done that were never possible. We built in a game that gamifies the process of community voting. Community voting is something that everyone here may relate to, because when we pitched original videos on YouTube's, we had this funny likes fest. People were buying likes in like thousands, and we all know how that went down. So in our case, we're trying to figure out the way, is that possible to do something to give communities a tool to have a voting process that's free of fraud? And that's the main point of our app, This Coin Rocks. And I let my partner to do a quick demo for you guys to demonstrate the gamification process, how it works, and basically tell you about the game itself. The game is designed for everyone to participate, to join a team, and you can play for the coin or for the token, and eventually, in this world, anything can be tokenized. For example, you want to participate in a competition like EOS Hackathon, and your team can be represented with a token, and everyone who supports you can basically take position and play for your token and compete against other players. This game doesn't require any special skill. And this game, the only skill it basically requires is a collaboration and cooperation with your fellow team players. And that's why we believe this game will make it possible to eliminate fraud because of transparency and blockchain and special tools that would let us prevent automated bots, which is very easy on all other systems. Thank you all very much, and thank you, EOS.
Nicely done. Judges, 2 minutes on the clock for you guys.
It has some points for you.
Judges, any questions? All right. With no questions, give it up one more time. This coin rocks. And give it up for all of our teams, because that's it. There's no more demos. We are done. Well done, everybody who came out and attended this hackathon. Here's what's going to happen next. I'm going to take the judges into a room over here. We are going to deliberate on those final 3 prizes, and then we're going to come back and announce the winners. So judges, if you want to start making your way that way, I will come collect you momentarily. As the judges are doing that, I would like to bring on stage a really great group of people, some of whom you probably met throughout this event. If I can get a please warm round of applause from EOS VC, Brian Mailer, and from Everpedia, Theodore Facilius and Travis Moore. Guys, come on up.
Good evening. My name is Brian Mailer. I'm with EOS VC, and I'm here with Theodore and Travis. How are you guys doing tonight?
Very good. Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for doing double duty, serving as mentors and judges, but I wanted to see if you would be willing to answer a few questions for us. So I'm going to start with Travis. How has the Everpedia team liking the hackathon so far, and is there anything in particular that was exciting for you?
Yeah, I remember back last year when the whole EOS crew was so small, and now it's really exciting to see it grow to the state that it is now. I'm glad these hackathons are kind of kickstarting more and more developer collaboration.
Sure. And Teddy, how about Everpedia? Can you give us a little backstory how you guys came to be and where you're going to go?
Sure. So Everpedia started about 4 years ago. And the original vision was kind of based on the fact that me and Sam, my other co-founder that started it originally, were both editors on Wikipedia. But we felt like that platform, basically hadn't been updated in almost 2 decades, and there were so many things we could improve upon. So initially, we just wanted to build a more modern and inclusive version of Wikipedia. So we focused on updating the design, the functionality, the community policies, and especially making common sense guidelines, which is something we especially thought Wikipedia was lacking. So that was kind of the original vision for Everpedia when we started it.
And Travis, can you give us a little backstory on the technology, and did you start off with EOS, or how did you end up with us?
Well, I mean, we naturally started at the time with Ethereum, since that was pretty much the standard, but we also looked at Cosmos. However, back in August, we looked at the white paper for EOS, and we were very impressed with it, and we were also impressed with Dan Larimer's track record, and that's one of the major reasons we decided to put our faith with EOS.
And so when you decided to move on to EOSIO, what was it that sold you about blockchain?
Well, basically, there was 2 main events that kind of caused us to go to EOS. The first one was the CryptoKitties things, as you guys probably realized. For about a week or 2, the entire network, Ethereum network, was congested, and gas prices were like insane. So for a website like us, we can't really have something like that because we have millions of users a month, and even if a fraction of them, made an edit or voted or something of that nature, it would literally congest the Ethereum network. So that was right off the bat a non-starter.
Yeah, I would also say about this time last year, Sam, our other co-founder, it's been in the blockchain space since like 2012, 2013. He used to mine crypto back in college to pay for his college tuition and rent because he had flat rate electricity. So the first time I met him and visited his apartment, he basically had GPUs like connected all over the floor, and the air conditioning unit on like full blast, and he just like ran that 24/7 in his dorm room, which is pretty cool. But basically, since he's been in the space so long, the thing that kind of initiated us moving towards the blockchain was that he felt like blockchain technology around this time last year had matured enough to actually support and enable a decentralized encyclopedia the way that we were kind of envisioning it. So.
And then one other thing is, we noticed there was like, you guys are probably aware that there's like a lot of vaporware crypto projects out there. We were very impressed with Dan Larimer's previous track records with BitShares and Steam, and we took a look at the code and we saw that these guys knew what they were doing, so that was another deciding factor.
So it seems like you guys have been with us for a while, so you got to not only grow yourselves, but you grew when EOSIO grew. Is there anything, Teddy, that you noticed that wasn't available to you when you started that is now available today?
I mean, I would say the main thing that moving to the blockchain and using EOS enables us to do is, we've had this community for a couple of years now where we have editors that are contributing and creating so much content on a voluntary basis. And so what excites us about this is that for the first time ever, we're kind of allowing those people to earn back the value that they're creating through blockchain technology and through our tokens, and allowing them to become stakeholders in the system themselves. So.
And Travis, is there anything on the technology that you were able to implement later on that wasn't there available to you at the beginning?
Yeah, the biggest thing technology-wise that was problematic at first was the tables. You guys probably know they had this weird table system before the multi-index tables came about, and that was probably the major one. But as far as the three major benefits of EOS that I figured was C++. So C++ has a much wider pool of development talent as opposed to Solidity with Ethereum. It's just C++ has been out there a lot longer. More documentation, more languages, things of that nature. The other two things why, technology-wise, why we're choosing EOS was because there's no transaction fees, and so with the no transaction fees, any DApp that has a lot of frequent transactions all the time, no one's going to want to pay gas every single time with that. With EOS, it would simply just throttle it to solve the problem. The other issue that Ethereum has that EOS does not is it's kind of slow relatively. So we think that EOS is like sub-second block production times. I honestly think that there will be a whole new class of DAPPs unlocked by EOS that are not available on slower systems like Ethereum. So we're very excited about that.
Sure. And then one of the exciting things for Block.one's EOS VC project was that Everpedia was actually one of the first DAPPs that received funding from one of our VC partners at Galaxy. Can you guys both talk about how receiving the funds early this year helped improve your development of your DAPP?
Yeah, so we're very excited to be partner with Galaxy Digital. I would say the main thing that enables us to do, except for the fact that we're able to speed up software development and development of the network in general, is the fact that we can expand globally. So what we're going to be putting a lot of resources into over the next 1 to 2 years is actually establishing Everpedia in new countries and new continents, new languages, and trying to make it global, essentially.
Yeah, another thing is, on a little more personal note, the funding helped me quit my day job, things of that nature, just more mundane things. But it'll also help us get, as City was alluding to, like international content teams, so we can start seeding, editor groups in different countries to help grow the community.
Sure. I mean, it's all been really exciting that our VC program is getting to work with you over the past year. And I just want to see, where do you guys see yourselves both on a tech side and as a business side in the next 5 years?
In 5 years, I hope that we're kind of the standard protocol on the internet for knowledge on what is going to be the decentralized internet, Internet 3.0. And we hope that a lot of apps, projects, websites can just tap into our open source network and use that. So it's really exciting.
Another technical thing that we might want to do in the future is have we want an encyclopedia that's language invariant that we could possibly create by using like metadata, like JSON metadata on the pages. That'd be really cool. So,
Are there any other new updates or things to look forward to with Everpedia in the next few months or years?
I mean, obviously, we have the famous airdrop coming up in June. That's very anticipated in the EOS community, so we're very excited to do that. And we're obviously very excited to have set the precedent for airdrops, and hopefully, we can inspire a lot of other DAPPs to build on EOS, and hopefully we can be helpful to them in any way that they want as well. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I want to let everyone here know that the Everpedia team's around if you want to ask some questions and kind of get an insight into how they built their program. And also, our awards are going to be coming up just shortly. So if you guys hang tight for a few more minutes, we should have the final results to you soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an intense 26 hours hacking, we have winners, everybody. Give it up for yourselves for making it all the way through the hackathon. And with that, we have not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but 7 different prizes that we need to give away. The first and foremost, and before we do anything else, we need to once again give a huge round of applause for all the different people who helped make this happen. For our hosts for this event, a warm round of applause for Block.one, everybody, for putting this on and allowing us to do this. All right, before we go any further, let's jump into the prizes. First and foremost, we can't do this without an amazing group of people who came from all over the world. I'm talking, of course, about our mentors. We asked and you answered who our #1 most valuable mentor was. And without it being close, we had a clear winner. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a warm round of applause. The most valuable mentor and the winner of this particular well-wrapped Nintendo Switch. Please bring up to the stage Jay Chang, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, buddy. Give it up one more time for Jay. All right. And with that, it's time to move into our superlative prizes. First and foremost, we have our best social post. The best social post, the winner of $3,000, as I mentioned, the best spent time that you've ever had writing a single social media post, or at least the best well paid. The winner is Shabazz Ahmed. Come on down. Well done, sir. Congratulations. Here's your giant check. Ladies and gentlemen, the best social post from Mr. Ahmed. Just in case you were curious what it is, it's right here on the stage. From Straws and Apples, a tetrahedron. One more time, a round of applause. Well done, sir. All right. And our next prize. This goes to the best UX. So this is a team that really thought about the user from the very beginning, the design, the flow, and all of the different portions. This was a tough one to choose, but in the end, only one could walk away as the winner. I'm proud to announce the winner of this event's Best UX Prize, Team Warranties. Come on down! Nice job, Team Warranties. Congratulations, and congratulations on another $3,000. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Team Warranties, our Best UX winner. Congratulations. All right, and next up, we have the last of our superlative prizes. To announce the greatest social impact prize, one of our esteemed judges, one of our favorites, she's been here the entire weekend. A warm round of applause. Dr. Jane Thomason, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, blockchain is going to give us the tools to achieve exponential social impact. And I want to thank the Block.one team for giving a prize for this. I want to thank all of the teams. 50% of the teams actually worked on social impact projects. I want to thank you for that, and I want to congratulate you all for that, and I want to encourage you to keep on going. Blockchain is going to be able to change the lives of the bottom billion, to give them identity, to bring the unbanked into the financial system, to be able to give them access to microgrid solar energy. So all of the projects were fantastic, all of the teams were fantastic, and we have an opportunity to take it to scale. The winner is a group who are really going to be able to take something to scale, because 70% of the world's populations will live in cities by 2050, and blockchain has the potential to be able to revolutionize our cities. So I am really proud to be able to invite the Smart Cities team to come up as a winner of the Social Impact Award. And yet there's more. I'm so pleased that the Block.one team have agreed that they too will be able to come to the grand finale. So Smart Cities team, you're coming
Smart
to the
City
finale.
Steroids, come on down! Smart City Steroids coming all the way from the back. Ladies and gentlemen, one more big round of applause. The surprise attendees for the EOS Grand Finale later this year. Smart City Steroids, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, thank you so much. Head off to the left. If you haven't had a chance to talk to Dr. Jane Thomason as of yet, by the way, you really should. She is one of the world's leading experts in blockchain and social impact, and she's been in the space all the way for quite a while. It's an exceptional honor to have her here, and once again, if you haven't had the chance to chat with her, it is a great time to do so later when we open up the happy hour. But with that, there are no more superlatives to give, and it is time to announce our top 3 teams. To help me with our second runner-up team, you met him earlier. As he brings the check up, a warm round of applause. Brian Mailer from EOS VC, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it was a tough time debating the top 3 teams, but in the end, there can only be 3. We are pleased to announce that the winner of the second runner-up prize, $10,000, and a trip to the EOS Grand Finale. The first of our top 3 winners today. Do Couture, come on down! Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm round of applause as they come onto the stage. The first of our top 3 teams, Team Do Couture. Nice job, guys. All right, guys, do me a favor and just pop right over here, right off to the right-hand side. There's only 2 more, and the next one I'm very happy to announce. To help me with this one, the CFO of Block.one, one of our judges, Andrew Buss, come on up. So, the first runner-up team, our second place team, the winner of $25,000 and one of those coveted spots at the grand finale. A warm round of applause. Block Flare, come on down! Congratulations, guys. Congratulations, congratulations. And one more time, Block Flare, ladies and gentlemen. All right, folks, if you want to just pop back right over here, please. And there can now be only one left, the big one. As Brian Mailer brings the check up for the first place, the first of our first places in this Global Hackathon series. Before we move on to 3 more events and a grand finale, it's time to announce the overall winning team. In first prize for $100,000 and that trip to the EOS Grand Finale for a chance at $500,000. A warm round of applause. Our overall winners for this event. Idea Pass, come on down! Ladies and gentlemen, your overall grand prize winning team with a top prize of $100,000. Idea Pass, give it up one more time. And give it up for all of our finalists, Do Couture, Block Flare, and Idea Pass. Remember that these 3 teams will be representing Hong Kong during the grand finale. So make sure you talk with them, help with them, and continue to mentor as they work on their projects. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be opening up the happy hour in the back. Thank you each and every one for coming out to this event. We've so enjoyed having you. My name is Brian Collins. Good night, Hong Kong! Congrats, guys. Nice job.